bass. I mean, musically, this is so damn interesting. The bass, do 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 do, and going up and down. And the drums just so free and just cymbal and cymbal and this is so musically. This is so. If it wasn't that long, I'd bring it back. This is so goddamn. What the hell? Interesting. Hope my mom's not watching this.
It's showtime, folks.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Into the Music. My name is Greg, and I'm excited. I should have a bell here. I always talk about that. Ding, ding, ding. First time. First time what? First time requested from Kofi? No, this is actually my own song that I'm going to do solo reaction to. And what I'm excited about, first time ding, ding, ding for Public Image Limited, right? LTD. I mean, I know about this band and John Lydon, Johnny Lydon, Johnny Rotten. And back in was the late 80s, as long ago as that, definitely in the early 90s. I mean, there were some songs that were coming their way from them that just was so good. I was hearing on the college radio station here, and some really cool stuff. But I've never really gotten into, he's become this real sort of, I guess, polarizing figure, and with his political views and opinions and all like that. I'm trying to separate that kind of crap, from some great music, and this band has definitely created some great music. And so I want to jump into it. And what happened was that if you actually go onto, and I don't know, by the time this publishes, if Lauryn Hill and Everything is Everything, but I'm reacting to that song. And What's in My Bag, Amoeba Records, where these artists will be invited to go to the record store in Los Angeles, and they'll go through and they'll pick stuff out and they sit down and they talk about it. And I forgot the name of the artist, but so that's how I kind of came across Everything is Everything, even though I knew that song, but I was inspired by watching an episode and they were talking about Lauryn Hill and had that song playing in the background. And the same thing with this. There was a band or an artist who was talking about Public Image LTD and the album that this song is on, Poptones. And now here I am. I'm so excited. So without any further delay, let me just shut up, right? Poptones by Public Image LTD. Is that John Lydon, right? That's cool.
Drive to the forest in a Japanese car. The smell of rubber on concrete tar. Hindsight does me no good. Standing naked in this back of the woods. Let the set play. Poptones.
musically, this is so damn interesting. The bass, do 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 do, and going up and down. And the drums just so free and just cymbal and cymbal and this is so musically. This is so. If it wasn't that long, I'd bring it back. This is so goddamn. What the hell? Interesting. Hope my mom's not watching this.
A drive to the forest in a Japanese car. The smell of rubber on concrete tar. The hindsight does me no good. Standing naked in this back of the woods. The cassette played Poptones. I can't forget the impression you made. You left a hole in the back of my head. I don't like hiding in its foliage and peat. It's wet and I'm losing my body heat. The cassette plays Poptones. This bleeding heart looking for bodies nearly injured my pride. Praise picnicking in the British countryside. Poptones. Poptones.
Is there like echoing voices, vocals in the background? Well, it's like voices that are kind of like ghostly voices, sort of screaming down like hallways or whatever. Like I'm just getting that image or these images and what's coming. Like, yeah, yeah. I keep hearing it. That's brilliant. Such a great production touch there. Musically, this is so strong. I mean, that guitar is beautiful. It just keeps playing almost in the background as the drums and the bass are just doing their thing. The whole band is tight. All those three instruments and what they're coming up with. And Johnny is just kind of that sort of deranged type of sort of lyrical, vocalization, making it so damn interesting. Yeah, make me want to get into the lyrics after this is over on the other side. But first things first, gotta listen to the rest of this amazing song. I don't expect any change ups. I think this is gonna be more of the same. But I ain't complaining. Not complaining one bit. Poptones. Before commercial. Sorry if I cut it up by 1 second too early. I'm sorry. Didn't want commercials showing up. Yeah, that was amazing. That was so hypnotizing, so entrancing, right? And I'm sure there are people out there like that's too long. They just went on and on and on and on. I love that stuff. I love that stuff. Something that's so interesting like that. That loop that's so interesting. Yeah. I mean, and they were changing it up. The drumming with each loop around was a little bit different. He held back here and then he kind of went in here, did a couple, almost like a roll, something, resembling a roll. Yeah, the bass just, I mean, what else you guys say but the bass? Ah, okay. Um, Let me pull some information up and I will see everyone on the other side. Entrancing, hypnotic. I mean, that's the best way to describe the effect of that song. I mean, because one could argue that it just goes too long with that looping of that just repetitive over and over and over and over. I love it. I love it. I really do. It. I mean, it's not gonna be the only time I listen to this. But I mean, we're taking road trips here and there. My sons have recently gone to college, and we've taken some pretty long road trips to go see them. And sometimes I drive, sometimes my wife drives. So when my wife is driving, I could definitely see myself sitting with the headphones on and this on, and just the way that bass is going. Like I was thinking about it. Like if I'm sitting there, and you just kind of you see the trees, you see the signposts, you're going really fast, and it's just like, it probably would match the bass. I'm not trying to go for a joke here. Like, this is the kind of it's a road trip song, right? I mean, I could definitely see myself driving and just having this on, and it just you get lost in it as you're driving, right? And that's pretty cool. My wife won't let me do that. I don't think this is her cup of tea, so she's not gonna like have this blasting while I'm driving. I'm not gonna have the headphones on while I'm driving. So, but it's definitely a road trip song. Yeah, I guess it's also a song for other types of moods and where you're at and stuff like that. But it's just, it really is such a great song for a first listen. Well, kind of, right? I mean, I had heard some of the stuff, through that episode of What's in My Bag, but oh, it's just, I mean, his lyrics are interesting. I had to get into them. I had them pulled up. Johnny Rotten, right? John Lydon. Um, yeah, and like his delivery and it's like, and he went when he went high, that was really cool, right? Um, and really the way he does vocalize, right? I mean, it's very effective. I mean, he's got that style. I mean, it's like stand up attention. Absolutely. It grabs you. His voice could be very piercing and going right through you and, but not in a bad, I mean, some people would say in a bad way, but I always liked it. I mean, it's a punk, it's that punk drenched voice, he's never going to lose that. And in songs like this, I mean, it just could be very effective where he's basically sort of low simmer, and he goes up a little bit, but in a way it's a low simmer, but there's something it's like, it still grabs your attention, even in that low key delivery, as that beautiful music is just playing and just keeps going and going. It's almost like swirling around his lyrics. Yeah. And again, I think the swirling feel is from that bass. It just keeps going up and down. It is looping, and not just that sort of that rhythm that just keeps sort of repetitive over and over and over, but it's looping also again, just swirling around. That's how that bass is kind of the bass is sort of creating that. No, but then also the guitar too. It's kind of like going up and definitely descending notes too on the guitar, which I love. And the drum is just, he's not trying to do too much, but it's enough. It's very, yeah, it's loose. It's loose and it works in tandem with the bass and the guitar. It's just Yeah, like I said, it's hypnotizing. It really is. It was a weird beginning. I don't know if that was the because of the video that I chose, like that person, did something wrong in the beginning, or that's the way the song starts. It was kind of like really abrupt. But yeah, and it kind of ends abruptly too. So let me pull up. Actually, I got some information pulled up, and Public Image, LTD. Let's see, London, England. Genres: post-punk, experimental rock, new wave, dub, avant, funk. Members: John Lydon, Bruce Smith, Lou Edmonds, and Scott Firth. And there's a crap load of past members. That's really interesting. Do I recognize any of these names? Not really. Yeah, they identified John Lydon, previously known as the singer of Sex Pistols, guitarist Keith Levine, bassist Jah Wobble, and drummer Jim Walker in 1978. The group's personnel has changed frequently over the years. Lydon has been the sole constant member. Okay, almost like a Mark Smith, right, of the Fall. Probably pissed everyone off, and there was only a certain like lifespan, right, for certain members, and then they're out. I'm out. Tap out. Okay, off with you. Yeah. Well, here we go. Following Lydon's departure from the Sex Pistols in 1978, he sought a more experimental anti-rock project and formed this group. That year, uh, is Wiki is saying PIL, so we'll say PIL released their debut first issue 1978, creating an abrasive bass-heavy sound that drew on dub, noise, progressive rock, and disco. Pill's second album, Metal Box, pushed their sound further into the avant-garde and is often regarded as one of the most important albums of the post-punk era. And then it just see, I remember them more like in the late 80s. Yeah, but I mean, I could be wrong though, right? Because it's really shown a lot of material in the early 80s. And then they took a break um, in the 1990s, late 1990s. And then Lydon reformed the group in 2009 and has released several further albums, including What the World Needs Now in 2015. So let me get into the song. And when did this come out? And this was 1979. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, bass heavy. Absolutely. And so I'm in genius.com, the lyric website that I use a lot for my reactions. And I love when people contribute. I love it. Context. Give it to me. Um, Fill in the blanks, right? So according to John Lydon's liner notes in Public Image Ltd's Plastic Box compilation, Poptones was based on a story straight out of the Daily Mirror about a girl who was kidnapped and bundled, blindfolded into the back of a car by a couple of bad men and driven off into a forest where they eventually dumped her. The men had a cassette machine with an unusual tune on the cassette, which they kept playing over and over. The girl remembered the song, and that, along with her recollection of the car and the men's voices, is how the police identified them. That is wild. That this is a true story is like mind boggling. Well, I mean, I know it happens way too often. It's sickening. But still, like this is what's behind this song. The police eventually stopped the car and found the cassette was still in the machine with the same distinctive song on the tape. Oh man. So is this that music, or they tried to replicate it, or they maybe they imagined, I'm saying PIL, they imagine like this might be like what the music was like. I don't know. So here we go. Lyrics. Drive to the forest in a Japanese car, the smell of rubber on country tar. Hindsight done me no good, standing naked in this back of the woods. The cassette played pop tones. Drive to the forest in a Japanese car, the smell of rubber on country tar. I think it just repeats it, right? The cassette played Poptones. I can't forget the impression you made. You left a hole in the back of my head. Also, they shot her? Wow. I don't like hiding in this foliage. And Pete, it's wet and I'm losing my body heat. Wow. The cassette played Poptones. This bleeding heart looking for bodies nearly injured my pride. Praised picnicking in the British countryside. This bleeding heart looking for bodies nearly injured my pride. Is that like how she was found? She's talking about how she was found. Praised picnicking in the British countryside. Pop tones, pop tones. Oh wow, that elevates the song even more. I mean, it's sad and it's tragic and it's sickening that something like that happened, but it just does put more weight to the song. It's wow. Just it I guess there is like a sinister type of feel to the song too. Just the repetitive over and over and over. And again, Lydon's voice, right? I was talking about how it's piercing and how it kind of grabs attention like that. Yeah. And to find out what it was about. Wow. Put in comments what do you think about, and really seriously spam me, because I mean I'll take them off. You start going into Leiden, the political shit, and as crazy as he is with all that, you start going off and saying how he stinks, sucks, whatever because of that. you know Stay with the music. All right, stay with the music. It's called Into the Music. All right, so um, let's stay with that here. So let me know what you think about this group, about Lydon's vocals, his performance, the music, this song. Let me know what you think. Put that in the comments. If you like this, hit the like button, subscribe. That'd be fantastic. We're a growing channel and we'd love to have you on board. And with that said, see every one of you on the next episode of Into the Music.